Hey, good afternoon, Charlie. Good afternoon, the kid. Hi, Isaac.
That
Good. I think it's still morning over there, right? Hi, good afternoon, Aram.
Good afternoon, everyone.
How's the weather up there in New York?
It is finally really cold, and I'm already ready for it to be done.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, cool cat.
Welcome, Cool Cat. If for those who didn't notice, Cool Cat's not just up here as a speaker. She is an official part of the mission control team at the Rocket Factory. Welcome, Cool Cat, our new project manager. Big round of applause.
whoop
Woo!
so
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you. Happy to be here, guys.
All right, should we get into it?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like we have about 28 folks tuned in. So let's go ahead and jump right in.
Give a few minutes if we want to people join, kind of catch up. We just posted a little medium recap, but I think it's things we've discussed here already. Just a recap of some of the recent events from the last 2 months in that recap. Is there a lag? I'm afraid my internet's kind of bad. Or am I coming through loud and clear?
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear for me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Should we jump into some questions? I mean, I think the Medium article, it's either live or about to be live, but I think it's just all concrete recent event updates. We'll have another more stat-based Medium article coming your way as a kind of a recap of the last year with some numbers and statistics, like what was shredded and what was donated to the museum, and like really specifics around that coming your way by the end of this year as well. Should we jump into some questions, mods?
Sure. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to come up on stage and ask questions? Otherwise, we have some notes from AMA chat that we can use as well. All right, I don't see any hands, so let's jump into those. So I think most of the folks in here have probably seen Wilhelm Tell's notes. So Cool Cat, I don't know if you want to go into any detail on any of those things that you're working on, those types of things. I mean, from his perspective and a lot of other folks in the community, getting the OpenSea description up to date is probably a low hanging fruit. So I don't know if you can talk to any of the things that you've been working.
Yeah, totally. So that's a good one. Me and the kid were working on that last night and today. So once the devs wake up, I'm hoping they can update the OpenSea page. That's the biggest impact item. That's like the easiest first thing to take care of. The rest of it, all the metadata, is also being updated, and that is addressed in the Medium article. We're committing to having all of that updated the second week of January, but it's gonna come out sort of slowly up until then. That's another dev team issue. One of the things that we're sort of up against right now is that it is the holidays, so there's a lot of time off. So we've got a mix of the holidays, and as you guys may have heard, the COVID Omicron variant is raging in New York, and we've had some close calls in the studio. So we've got some sort of skeleton crew here and there, making sure that things are taken care of, but we can't all be there at the same time right now. So that's why some of the shipping is pushed back a little bit too. And in the Medium article, we committed to the second week of January getting all that out.
Yeah, thank you, Cool Cat. I think that's a good update on that front. One thing I would also say about some of the OpenSea stuff, which our dev team knows people over there, so they're talking to them. Some of it is like, obviously the Miami metadata, that's on us that we need to update it. If there's anything not coming up in the metadata that's older, it's a combination of also just some lag and delays that are happening on the OpenSea side of things, that we're also bringing to OpenSea's attention. I think some people might have just noticed in general, OpenSea has been a little bit slower as of late.
Yeah, definitely. There's certainly other projects that haven't even been verified that've been out for months, and yeah, I think all of us have seen that for sure. And just to kind of pile on with the rockets, it's exciting to get them, but it's certainly worth the wait. They're awesome in person if you haven't seen them. So. Cool. Thanks for the
And
update.
if anybody wants specific information on your rocket, you can send me a specific message, and I can just give you some reassurance and let you know we've got it, or give you updates personally. But everything in Miami is still in the studio.
Sweet. All right, so I wanted to circle back. Last time we had an AMA, Basso.eth had a question on international shipments. So I wanted to circle back for his sake and probably some other folks. I think it was specifically Europe in this case. They were wondering about the value and shipping on those things. So if that's something you can add to your list if you haven't yet, that would be awesome.
Charlie, do you have information on the value of or the shipping, or is this something that we should get back to you guys on?
So, sorry, I was kind of cut out for me for a moment, but the question around shipping is like how the cost of the shipping, or
How it's valued, I think, is the so if they have to pay
like when it's sent FedEx, just know that we look at that country to country, and our goal is always to make sure it's not going to be held up in customs or have you having to foot a customs bill. So we always try and send it in a way through FedEx that minimizes and mitigates all of those. Instead of like maybe reflecting, what could be like the actual value of the thing. Because I think if we valued these as the actual Tom Sachs sculptures would be valued and tried to send them FedEx International, everyone would be looking at a pretty large customs bill.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that was the concern. That definitely.
Yeah, there will not be a surprise tax bill that you need to pay on the arrival of your really, really expensive sculpture.
All right, so actually, I have a question. I think in the chat yesterday, or maybe even the day before, we had seen a post from, I think it was Baldwin Gallery in Aspen, that there's a show coming up. So I was hoping you could talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah, Tom's got an exhibition opening at Baldwin Gallery in Aspen, Colorado. Tom's been showing with Baldwin Gallery for like almost 3 decades now, since the early part of his career. It's a really great spot for contemporary art in Colorado. The exhibition is called Cassette Only. You all know that Tom loves everything that's a digital advancement, but he's also really an analog audiophile when it comes to a lot of stuff. So this is really dedicated to kind of his early rituals of making cassettes and mixtapes. The exhibition has wall pieces that are like paintings of Tom's favorite TDK cassettes. They've been like obsessively wood burned. It's this process where like one thing can take like 1,000 hours to make, because it's like slowly burning a piece of plywood with a design. And it also has 2 boom boxes, which only play cassettes, and Tom has made custom mixtapes to play out of those boom boxes. That exhibition opens December 26th and will be up through the month of January. So I guess anyone who finds themselves in Colorado this holiday season or anytime in January, you can go see the exhibition. I think we say this a lot, but I know that it's kind of like this like unknown fact that all galleries are open to everyone. You never need an invitation to go to a gallery opening, but maybe because the art world can be full of so many gatekeepers, sometimes people feel like you need an invitation to go into a gallery. But that is kind of like I don't know how that gets around, but that's not the case. You can always walk into any gallery in the world during their open hours, and you do not need to be invited.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited to see some of the images from that. I'm not going to make it, but I think it's going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, we'll definitely post on the social channels.
Excellent. All right, it looks like we finally have a question from the audience. Hummer, I just added you onto the stage. Go ahead. Hummer?
GM Hummer. If you're on a phone, maybe you're still on like push to talk somehow.
Oh, Hummer left. All right, well, we figured that out. We have a question from Dex Pistols. He was wondering what the current plan for parts in the dev wallet is. If that has changed from the last time we've talked. I think that was a few AMAs ago. He wants to know if they'll be assembled to rockets before phase 2, gifted to strategic partners, etc.
All of the conversations around the dev wallet remain the same. It is focused on strategic placement. And even leading up into and through phase 2, we've been using the dev wallet for also like strategic kind of ways in which we can grow the community. But everything we've always said about the dev wallet, it's never the goal of the dev wallet to do anything but grow and expand the market.
Excellent. All right, Hummer, we brought you back on stage. You having better luck this time?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, I was on mobile, so it was acting funky. So first off, congratulations to Cool Cat joining the team. That's awesome. As you saw on Discord, everybody's pretty excited about that. So it's nice to see you up there on stage today. My questions have to do with phase 2, and I'm not sure how far you guys are into this, but
Let's talk phase 2.
yeah. So
Bring it
Aram,
on.
Aram, I love the energy today. Your voice has a lot of energy. I'm loving that.
Thank you.
So phase 2 is multi-question. So first one is, when can we expect more details on rock mining, etc.?
Great questions. One of the reasons I'd say the energy in my voice is because me and Charlie and Cool Cat have literally just gotten to spend an incredible amount of time doing nothing but our favorite thing, which is working on phase 2 the last 2 weeks. I can say confidently that we will have mechanics to share in January for phase 2, as far as like the mechanics of the mining of the Mars rocks, what kind of fillers and chunks you can expect, and a roadmap with dates of what step will happen when, which I know will be exciting for everyone. I don't know if you want to ask any more specifics, Hummer. Maybe we can answer some questions or
Yeah,
drop
I
a
mean,
few teasers.
okay. I see where we're going with this. Okay. How will the rock mining work once you once you mine the rocks and bring them back? What do you do with them then?
So I think this is in the white paper. So Charlie, like the things that are in it, do you want to like go ahead and we speak to those? So
Yeah,
for
definitely.
those who are not like, up to date on it,
Well,
the first step is for all of you astronauts and a good percentage of patch holders, you'll get to go on a mining mission to Mars and mine and literally mint Mars rocks that have what we're calling fillers and chunks inside of them, and bring those back to Earth. Alongside that, the mothership will also bring Mars rocks for the general public to be able to claim. So that kind of catches us up to where Hummer is asking his question. What happens after that? What happens once you have these Mars rock NFTs, Charlie?
So the Mars rocks, we're developing what we're calling right now the rock crusher, but it's like a rock processing piece of equipment. So you would feed your rocks into this rock crusher, and each rock is composed of a discrete set of all these different elements, and what the rock crusher is going to do is spit out discrete quantities of each element as its own separate NFT. And we alluded to this also in the white paper, but we're looking into using those elements in certain combinations to create rocket fuel, which will be the fuel that powers future missions on the rocket factory. And so the rocks are sort of the foundation for what is going to be like the fuel in future missions.
And I think we can also speak confidently too, because I think for anyone who's been reading closely from the very, very first white paper on this project, where we call this a transdimensional NFT, but we also very clearly talk about exploring the universe and how like we can do that through the blockchain. As much as we can for those who are going to space, through other avenues. So it's really an extension of a lot of those conceptual ideas. So, get ready to travel the universe as well.
Yeah, the goal ultimately is to have every aspect and element of the rocket factory sort of build on the things that have come before. And so it's just a really interesting opportunity that we're getting to use these rockets, which we composed from components, to go and actually produce new NFTs through the mining mission, and then further process those NFTs and be able to combine them in more interesting ways. But it all at every step, every smart contract associated, from point A to point Z, they all communicate with each other. So we're building this really interesting web that is its own ecosystem, and it's going to allow us to do very interesting things going forward with the rocket factory. So it's really exciting, and some of the things that we're looking at as far as how this works mechanically is very similar to how the burning is what we called it in phase 1, where the combination of 3 NFTs forming one new NFT was a pretty big innovation that we developed. And that's a huge part of what we're really interested in the space, is that we can keep pushing in these cool new directions where we're using our NFTs to do other cool, interesting things.
Hey Charlie, I got a quick follow-up for that. What do we know what the rocket fuel is going to be that gets the mothership from Earth to Mars?
Right now, I think it's called an ion drive. Right now, I think that's the term. It's like a giant umbrella that collects particles and spits them out the back. But
Whoa, so are we going to be using new fuel? Are we building new machines in
yeah,
space?
we got to go to Mars to get all the right elements.
Wow.
I also have a follow up on that, Charlie. Quick. So we're getting tickets to mine rockets on Mars to get fuel to go on more missions, correct?
Yes.
And then we go on these missions, and are we mining more rocks, or are we doing something else?
That maybe is where I think all the above potentially.
Okay, got
It's
it.
the whole universe out there.
Yes,
Okay.
I wouldn't say we're just limited to mining. How about that?
Okay, great. Love it. Got you.
Yeah, the pursuit of science is never ending.
Excellent. Got you. My second phase 2 question is, we currently have about 500 owners in the rocket factory. For phase 2, how many owners do you think will on board? If we include the patch holders, et cetera, in phase 2.
So,
yeah, Aaron, if you want to,
yeah, I would say that me and Charlie and the kid and Cool Cat's a part of these conversations now. This is something that the numbers of how you grow the community, the objective being we want to grow the community in a meaningful way, but not in a way that is also too big and too fast. It's always about growth that is sustainable, productive. So I won't say numbers, but I will say that this is the part that we are obsessed with right now, is talking through the numbers. But whatever the final number is something that has to be meaningful, and something that has to be sustainable. Those are our 2 guiding principles. Kid, Charlie, I don't know if you guys would add anything more to that.
I think the overarching point that Aaron's touching on is just growth, as far as sustainable growth. But so we're anticipating, we want more people to be able to participate throughout the rocket factory, and so that it'll be more.
Okay, awesome. Aaron, you talked about a roadmap coming in January with dates on it. Do you have a date for that roadmap with dates?
I would land that in the middle of January, so I wouldn't expect it the first week of January, and I would expect it before the last week of January. Just because there's some things on that roadmap that you know, kick off in February. So mid-Jan roadmap with dates, and I think this is also in the Medium article from today, but we want to make sure that in January we are also able to do 2 more launches that allow people who want to make sure that they're in phase 2 with a launched rocket. And something else that the Medium article covers is we are developing a mechanic that will allow people to schedule themselves for a yet undetermined future launch, giving them the utility of a launched rocket going into phase 2, even if the rocket has yet to be physically launched. It will be like a pending launch, but we will give it the same utility as a launched rocket. Charlie, I don't know if you want to say a little more on that, but I know that was something that was really at the top of the list for a lot of the astronauts, is making sure they got the benefit of a launched rocket. And just with geopolitics of the world and COVID and all of those fun things that have happened since we launched this project, we haven't been able to do as many launches physically as we would have liked to do, and we don't want that to be at the expense of the benefit that some astronauts would have wanted to gain from having a launched rocket.
Yeah, I think you covered it perfectly, and like we'll go into greater detail as far as like what committing to these launches looks like in January. But I think it's just a really great opportunity because we've been paying really close attention to what the community cares about and is saying, and a lot of people put a lot of stake in personally attending each launch, and like we don't want necessarily people to lose out on participating to the full extent in phase 2 just because it's like we were unable to make a certain launch happen, and so we want to kind of cover our bases on that front.
So we're hoping this gives everyone the best of both worlds. You may potentially get to have a physical launch in the future closer to where you are that you could attend, but you will not miss out on phase 2 as a result of that, as long as you sign up for a pending launch before phase 2 kicks off. And that part of the mechanic we can say with certainty we've figured out. The only thing that we will add to that in January is just the specifics of like what you're signing up for, like the geolocation or the future date that you might be signing up for. Those are the things that we will be able to share with you in January, but we can speak right now with confidence and let you know that we have figured out with our devs the mechanic of allowing anyone who wants to sign up for a future launch to be able to do that and get the maximum benefit of like being a launched rocket in phase 2.
That's awesome. That's a great idea. The information you guys are giving us today is really great. Do you guys plan on rolling out like these little tidbits, along the way, or just saving up for AMAs? Because I think it'd be really cool to have some of this stuff released slowly, maybe bi-weekly or weekly, or every other third day or whatever, just to keep some interest and some knowledge flowing throughout the community.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Well, Charlie, you put some of this in today's Medium article that you posted, right?
Yeah, definitely. And Hummer, that's an awesome point because when Cool Cat, Aram, and I were working with, and the kid, we were working on writing sort of the outline of how we saw this Medium article taking shape. And I was looking over the outline, and I was looking at specific things, and I was like, oh man, that works great as a tweet. And so I think you're onto something. And like I think we take for granted being like the three of us now seeing each other so frequently that like it's hard to remember what's known in the community and what's unknown in the community. And so I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, because sometimes Medium articles, as great as they are, things can get lost there. And I think that maybe us tweeting at you all some of these updates, like that keeps the energy in the larger community. Because we've got this really loyal Discord group, but Twitter is where we could be reaching that like larger audience to come into our Discord or to get engaged in the project. So with what you're saying, Hummer, and what you're saying, Charlie, I think we might be looking at some more future tweet updates.
Yeah, that'd be huge. I mean, you guys literally have a mountain of exciting, awesome stuff happening, right? Anything you've just said can literally be a tweet and even keep people guessing. I mean, let us speculate. Let us have some fun with it, I think it'd be great.
And Hummer, on that front, I think you also make a really great segue for me to make an announcement that's in the Medium article, which is we are looking for a social media person. So somebody with a voice who could be tweeting at you on the daily by the hour. So if anyone knows anyone, message Charlie.
Awesome. Hummer, do you have anything else?
Not right now. I'll think of something in a minute, though.
All right, cool. We'll leave you up here then. In the meantime, I'll pull some questions from the AMA chat. I think the first one that we haven't talked about quite yet today is the status of the museum and cabinet for the donations that folks have donated their rockets to. You guys have any updates on that for us?
Yeah, so I think I was kind of hinting at that at the beginning, which is Charlie is working on a like wrap report for the year, which will clearly outline how many things are going to the museum, how many rockets elected to shred, and how many have been successfully delivered to their new homes. So I think the museum cabinet update will be a part of that wrap up report. And then we can see how many of the 150 some rockets that we've launched have made it into the top 100 for the cabinet and how many spots remain.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Give me some numbers.
Great. I think those numbers, Charlie, I'll let you say what day you want to commit to announcing those numbers.
I think next week would be realistic. Cool Cat and I were actually working on this this morning. So we have like a rough estimate, but I'm a completist when it comes to numbers, so I like to be precise.
Yeah, and I think to Hummer's point, maybe it doesn't have to be the Medium article. Maybe we can, drop some cookies for you guys here.
Yeah.
Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, we could tweet those stats.
As much as I'd love to nerd out and write an entire Medium article that's just numbers, I guess we can tweet it.
You can do both. You can do both.
We're both. We're laughing.
I think it could be cool. I don't know what a lift that is, but if we were even able to say which rockets fall under what category. No promises we could collect all the names into the Medium article, but that might be the only advantage the Medium article has over just a tweet.
That would be for sure. All right.
So we've got another person from the audience to bring up that's been holding their hand up. Ray, if we can get him.
Yeah, let me pull him up. All right, Ray, are you there?
Ray.
I just want to say, if you can hear me, that physical rocket launches. If there's anything I can do to make it happen, I'll go there. I'll do it.
Oh, we know. I think if everyone followed the launch in Miami, Ray came to the rescue once again and has cemented himself as our equipment specialist. The redundancy zone.
I love the physical launches. They are so much fun.
It's awesome. It's great to have you there, Ray.
That's really all I had.
All right, cool. Thanks, Ray. Actually, I saw you had a question on the Web3 store as well.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Are we going to be seeing a Web3 store launch anytime in the future? Near future?
January, we are working actively on the Web3 store right now. We actually had a really, really awesome meeting yesterday with our team that develops our web store products on some exciting 2022 special merch for the Rocket Factory, and really working through the mechanics of how NFTs are the thing that will take the store to the next level for us.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited for that too, Ray. All right. Looking at the
We
state,
are as well. Yeah.
I'm sure. All right. I don't think we have any more hands up, so let me jump back over to chat. It looks like AAZ has a question on. I think we may have talked about this before, but maybe there's some more details here. Can we anticipate plywood space companions to any or all NFTs in Phase 2, like the rockets in Phase 1?
So I would say pretty concretely, not in the same way as like a 1-for-1 rocket being produced to represent the NFT. That being said, we are working on some like pretty incredible IRL plywood experiences that reflect the Rocket Factory. I don't know how into detail we want to go, Aram.
Yeah, I think that's it's a good thing to differentiate, though, that they are experiences and not a one-for-one object representation. I think that what makes the rockets so special is that, and the fact that there are only 1,000 potential ones is because I don't think the studio could ever commit in that same way ever again to a sculpture. I mean, I'll never say never, but I really do believe this, a sculpture of the quality of these rockets that's attached to an NFT in this project. I think in order to grow this project and travel the universe, um, we will be looking at quantities that it's not ever going to be sustainable to make an object represent that NFT. And in some ways, I think like would really restrict the kind of mechanics that we could engage in the project. So I think for that reason, the rockets become this really special thing where your NFT is a trifecta and it includes a Tom Sachs sculpture. But for the rest of the project, we still don't want to lose that bridge to the IRL space, because that's where all these ideas come from for Tom and for us in the studio. So we really started to get creative about, okay, what can we do that's not just objects? And we immediately went to, like, at the studio, we create entire worlds, entire experiences. Anyone who maybe has come to Hamburg and got to see the space program could kind of testify to that. So we're looking at the Rocket Factory being able to create um, kind of these experiential world that you would be able to go and engage with. In no way does it have to impact like a one-to-one your NFT in your wallet, but it could enhance that or give you access to that. So I think those are the kinds of bridges that we're interested in for the next future phases of the project, and kind of less of a sculpture and an NFT. Because I think we did that really successfully with phase 1 already. So we're gonna try and push the bridge between NFTs and IRL into new territories beyond just object and NFT.
Cool. I think that makes a lot of sense, especially with quantities, like you're saying. But it sounds like a good opportunity for some ISRU rock making for the community. So we'll have to see what happens there.
Cool. Excited to see it.
All right, let me check back on the chat. I don't see any hands up. Check the AMA chat here. Smurge has a good question. This is one that I had as well. Which aspects of phase 2 will require Ethereum, and how much should we be setting aside for phase 2? Excellent question.
That is an excellent question. I mean, I will say our largest conversations when thinking about mechanics for the next phase are like keep gas low as possible at every step of the future of this project. That said, I mean, Charlie, I mean, I would feel so uncomfortable throwing a number out there, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to say like definitively, just because there's like time in between now and then. It's hard to say what the price of Ethereum is even going to do, and you know, or even like what gas is going to do and everything. But I think if you look back at how we did the original drop for this project, I think somewhere around there, as far as like setting aside, isn't a bad place to start. But I really, at this point, I think it would be a disservice to put any numbers tied to anything. I think it would set up for some disappointment or something like that. So, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, you don't need like to hold on to like an astronomical amount of ETH to participate. It is about growing the community. So I think Charlie's advice is pretty solid. Though, like this is a disclaimer on this message. We are not responsible for how much ETH you may or may not have at the time of the drop.
Fair enough. All right,
Yep.
Let me check back on the stage. Still no hands. Anyone in the audience have questions? Everyone likes to type and make me work. Tater has a question on phase 2. I think the previous Medium article before today's had identified Metaverse headquarters for December. Can you share some details with that and maybe some updates?
Yes, I can. We really wanted to bring you the Metaverse in December, but due to just making sure we got the best possible plot of land to put our headquarters on, getting access to our plot has moved to January. So January is when you will be able to see the Rocket Factory headquarters come to life in the metaverse. So, I think
And this is
we
still
really wish we could have made. Huh?
Sorry, this is still Decentraland, right?
Still Decentraland,
Okay,
still
cool.
Decentraland. So, some things are just as they are with real estate in the real world. You think you're going to have your closing documents on a certain date, and then, a better opportunity presents itself. It's no different in the metaverse. So, just due to just closing on the best possible plot, instead of being able to deliver the architecture to you in December, we're now having to move that to January.
Okay. Yeah, I know everyone's looking forward to that.
It'll be worth the wait.
And I mean, I will say we're working with Voxel Architects. So they're incredible. They have done some really incredible work in all of the different metaverses, specifically Decentraland, but they've done work in crypto voxels as well. So if you want to check them out, like they're the guys who are going to be creating our headquarters.
Neat.
That was Voxel Architects.
Okay. All right. Hummer looks like he has another question, I think. Okay. Yeah, I don't.
Hey guys, sorry, not trying to hog the stage, but if I have some time, since you're talking metaverse now, I was curious if you could, and also being so generous with your answers today and open with with your answers, I was wondering if you could expand on the metaverse a little bit. Is it going to be more than just the place where the mothership launches off? Is there going to be more happening?
Uh, yeah, we're looking at, like, we want it to be sort of like the central, it's a headquarters. So there's, a few other things that we're looking at. There's like a large component that we're looking at for the metaverse that's going to take place. It's going to be the place where the minting is looking like it's going to take place. But then beyond that, we want to have this sort of be like a space where we can all gather in just like another way.
Yeah, I think like Charlie makes good points. It's a point of gathering for the community. Like we can tell you that for sure. Like it's where you will be able to like spawn onto Mars is inside of the headquarters. Um, it's like where the mothership takes you. And in addition to that, like, I'll say some things we're working on, but I can't promise that they're gonna be possible. But like, wouldn't it be awesome to launch a rocket in the metaverse? It would be really awesome. It's just like things like that can take a really heavy lift from a coding standpoint and like working with the real estate of Decentraland, like, how high an object can or can't go. So it's really interesting to see that some of the limitations that we have in a lot of ways in the physical are also present in the digital. So we're just trying to push the boundaries of what we can do with the headquarters as far as we can. So I think that's like the interesting tidbit we can tell you all is we'll try to deliver at the highest possible like function that a metaverse headquarters can provide. And I think as Decentraland and other things grow, we'll continue to add to improve our headquarters as well, and like add new functionality when possible to continue to make it an engaging space for people who are in our community to come back to. So I think Hummer, like long or short of it, we don't just want it to be a nice building for people to walk by and look at. We definitely want to push um, to make it a place for engagement.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get at. That's awesome. You since we're on the metaverse, I might as well ask another question. Do you guys envision it being like a totally different aesthetic, uh, as far as like maybe 3D versus Tom's original NFT drawings, which are more 2D?
Yeah, just by nature, being in the Decentraland, that's one of the things that we've been really focused on and developing all of this stuff for phase 2 is like how do we translate you know the existing 2D images that Tom draws into something that's 3D and authentic and still carries like the same feel and everything like that. And so yeah, 3D for a lot of this stuff. It's been
Definitely,
an
yeah.
interesting thing to work on.
We've committed to actually bring on a 3D graphic designer, something that our team didn't have before, specifically because we want to build in a really authentic way in this space. So it still will feel like Tom. It will still feel like the studio, but taking it a step further than just the 2D drawings that we've presented in this space so far. And that'll be across phase 2, not just in the metaverse.
Awesome, very exciting. Thanks for all the details on that.
No, great questions, Hummer. Thank you. I think we are about at the end here, team. Should kind of wrap it up. Charlie, Cool Cat, any last announcements before we sign off?
I'm just so happy to be here, you guys. Thanks for the warm welcome in the Discord, and happy holidays. We're working right through them, so hopefully you'll see some really good stuff from us. Early 2022. But I'll be available here, so just keep in touch.
Yeah, cool, Kat. We are stoked to have you on board, and you're an incredible voice for the project and for the community. And like Cool Cat said, me, Charlie, and Cool Cat are working through the end of this year, and so excited for what 2022 has in store for the Rocket Factory.
Yeah, so stoked. So stoked. It's gonna be
Woo!
great.
But this isn't our sign off or anything, because stats coming this year still. So
Yep.
we'll see you on the tweets, and we'll see you here in the Discord, and end of year wrap up next week.
Yeah, stay tuned. I think there's some things what we might be dropping in the Discord this week or next week. So just keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. This was really fun. Thank you guys,
Yeah,
especially Hummer for the Phase 2 convo. We love talking Phase 2.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks, Hummer.
Thanks all. And
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Hummer.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
mods.
team.